Rambo: The Savage Hunt. What happened to Sylvester Stallone's monster movie? The Rambo series is fondly etched into the memory of the action lovers. The jaw-dropping action and the muscle-wielding Sylvester Stallone taking on the enemy has been the hallmark of the series. The last Rambo movie, Rambo: Last Blood, was a fitting end to the great legacy of Rambo movies. Often an iconic character is ruined by one bad movie, but for Rambo, that has not been the case. However, are you aware that the storyline for the last Rambo movie could have been completely different? Instead of the plot that you can see in Rambo V, where Rambo takes on Mexican gangsters, an idea was drawn up where you could see him taking on a monstrous creature, which could have been similar to Yautjas from Predator movies. The movie was supposed to be titled Rambo: The Savage Hunt. In this video, we will be telling you all that there is to know regarding the fate of this idea. Also, for those who are intrigued as to what this idea was, sit tight and enjoy the video. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Rambo: Last Blood, the story that we got. The last Rambo movie, for many, bids the perfect goodbye to this legendary character. The plot traces the journey of Rambo, who now lives a peaceful life on a farm. His friend's adopted daughter learns about her biological father living in Mexico and seeks to meet him. Despite repeated warnings about the threats over there, she sneaks out and travels all the way to Mexico. However, once in Mexico, she is kidnapped from a bar by a ruthless drug lord. She is forced into prostitution and is repeatedly raped. Then we have Rambo to the rescue, and while he can't save his friend's daughter's life, he does finish off the drug racket in a spectacular fight. Rambo stories have more often been about one man's heroic acts, and this one is no exception. While critics might have disagreed on some aspects of the movie, such as the racial slurs for Mexicans, the movie did well amongst the fans of the Rambo series. They felt that the storyline kept with the tradition of Rambo taking on an evil force all by himself and emerging successful. Rambo movies have a history of heavily changing the scripts. The Rambo movies have evolved with time and sometimes given us a stunning storyline, which is why it is a regular sight in these movies to see a muscular hero wielding a machine gun and walking into enemy territory for one hell of a face-off. When the first Rambo movie, First Blood, came out, it was perceived to be somewhat of a psychological thriller. It was not just crazy action, as the basics were laced with an intriguing storyline. The sequel for this movie was another marvelous attempt from the makers that stressed upon the psychological dilemma of a man who hates war but is forced into it yet again for the sake of the mission. Stallone is known for his gripping sequels that are often blessed with breathtaking sequences. The ones to Rambo movies have been no exception. Also, this is not the first time that an idea has been shunned for a Rambo movie. Earlier, during the making of Rambo: First Blood 2, James Cameron had penned down a brilliant action-packed draft, while the general storyline for the movie remained the same. His work was rewritten several times. A major change was when a character was done away with. This character was supposed to be a Rambo's sidekick who would prove some comic relief. The best thing about the character was that the role was supposed to be played by John Travolta. What a moment it would have been, the two legends sharing screen space. But Stallone was averse to the idea of Rambo having a companion and preferred the lone soldier characteristic. He opened that Rambo was best suited to take on his enemy all by himself, and so he did in the movie. Later in Rambo 3, they used the sidekick idea in a more natural way, where they added the character of Musa, played by Sasan Gabay, who kind of gave the serious tone of the film some comic relief, and it was perfectly balanced. Rambo: The Savage Hunt. How would it look like? As early as 2009, the news was out in the open that a novel by James Byron Huggins called Hunter would be used for the Rambo V movie. The story featured the world's best tracker hunting for a dangerous beast. He was supposed to lead a team of special soldiers for the mission, but it does not take long for the team to find out that the beast is stronger than they assumed. Besides being freakishly powerful, the beast is bulletproof and fast, which makes killing it an impossible task. To make matters all the more difficult, they also discover that the beast has an uncanny smartness which points to some sort of human intervention in the creation of the creature. The story was entertaining and had similar elements of heroism like we tune to see in Rambo movies. There was going to be ample amounts of violence and gore. On the other hand, the movie would have taken a good amount of time to explain the technicalities of the creature to the audience. All in all, Hunter was a story with both horror and science fiction. It appealed to Sylvester Stallone, particularly the fact that Rambo's rage-filled character was to take on his inner demons, which he sees in this creature who is primal, angry, and extremely dangerous. For the movie, an additional character was thought of, Bo Brady, who would be more of a sidekick to Rambo. He was to provide some comic relief to the otherwise serious script, but it never materialized. But as luck would have it, the fan reaction was not the best when the synopsis was revealed. Soon, the idea of Rambo engaging in a battle to end a monstrous creature was shelved, and they went ahead with a plot that you will find in the Rambo V movie that released in 2019. Are we ever going to see Rambo Savage Hunt? It is tough to say how the movie would have turned out. While the story does sound somewhat bizarre at first glance, it is indeed true that the plot had moments of uniqueness. There would have been a supernatural, horror, or even sci-fi angle to the storyline, something that has been uncharted territory when it comes to Rambo movies. But maybe things worked for the best because the actual Rambo V movie did not disappoint the fans, as it gave a fitting end to the series. For those of you sulking for the discarded plot, there is a silver lining in the cloud. Sylvester Stallone has not dropped the idea for this story. From what we know, he has obtained the rights for a project in the near future. Maybe it won't be called Rambo anymore, but there is a very strong chance that the movie will see the light of the day in some form. It would be nice to see Stallone in the prime role, but it looks like we are running out of time for that. Let us know in the comment section, what are your thoughts about Rambo fighting a predator-like creature in a movie? And if you liked our content, support us by liking this video and subscribing to our channel. Have a fantastic day ahead and stay safe.